Hey, this is Derek with Distant Thought Candle Company. Just wanted to do a little recap. It's been trying to do a video every week just to keep myself honest on my progress, but also just to keep, consistency in cataloging my thoughts. And just wanted to go share some of my insight, some of the things I've learned in these past couple weeks, and things that I'm working on. Maybe it can help you answer some questions that you have as you're looking to continue growing or even just preparing for launching your small business or your candle company. Orders have slowed down a little bit, which is perfect because I think as soon as I launched, there were things that I started to notice that I wanted to maybe adjust, is the best word to say. There were some minor adjustments I wanted to make to the labels to create some cohesion between the 12 ounce and the 16 ounce. Just as far as creating a little bit more silver space on the front, where the label is, and then maybe occupying some of the empty space on the label itself. So, been working on that. Probably going to relabel everything this weekend and just create some, consistency between the two. So you're looking at the same product, whether it's a 6 or a 12 ounce, until you actually light it. So that's something that I noticed. And then doing videos, I noticed like how I could improve sound quality, lighting, maybe the camera itself a little bit. So I ordered a new lens just to see what kind of input I could get from changing that to more of maybe like a wide view, which this is instead of, an adjustable lens that the other one was. But wanted to see what maybe changing the light is. And I was talking to a cousin of mine who's, working on some projects of his own. And I really just wanted to like give myself a goal. So looking at videos, candles, the business, everything else, I want to try and, give myself a 5% improvement every week, whether that's doing better thumbnails, creating more relatable content or, just improving things 5% at a time. So I'm not giving myself an unfair goal, but it's also something that I can truly attain and, approach every week that way just to give myself, those kind of advantages. Um, I've noticed, every video, I've only done a few, but I've noticed every video, making an improvement. And so I just want to keep doing that. So whether it's 1% or 5%, I just want to continue to get better every week and just be consistent. I think the way that I can create consistency in presenting things gives me the same consistency in my products. And, that's important to me. So, that's just a little bit of a look under the hood inside the brain kind of thing. Nothing too critical, but I did want to. I wanted to share that I started making some soaps. Not necessarily for the business. I think I had talked about that before, where I just wanted to like see if I could do it, see how hard it was, and see what the end result would be. So earlier this week, I got some melt and pour soaps, and I think I still have 70 different fragrances I haven't, you know, that haven't materialized into a candle yet. So I wanted to make some things that weren't candle scents. So I made a couple and cured and start. I used one yesterday. It was really good. I actually really liked it, even with like a lower fragrance percentage. It was still, I still liked it. So that was cool. I definitely recommend trying to make as many things as you can, not necessarily to sell, but just to see what you're able to accomplish. I really liked making the soap, and it's a lot easier of a process than making a candle. So I wouldn't do that for my own fulfillment, but it is, nice to be able to have something that complements what you're doing. I was talking to one of my aunts about it, and I was just, talking about how I don't want to do the same scents from a candle to a soap just because the way I blend is, creating a scent profile like the same way that like a perfumer would. I'm trying to convey or express something with those scents working together. And so sometimes I may have, you know, 1% of a scent or a half percent of a scent paired up with 20% of a different scent. And maybe I'm not good at it. I don't know. But the last thing I would want is someone to smell that candle, want that as a soap, and then, they don't smell something like the one thing that put it all together that created, the summation of those scents for that product, that wears off. So, if you've got like something with orange and leather and grapefruit, and then the grapefruit and the orange wear off, like their soap would just be leather at that point. And I don't think that that's a scent that I would want to wear. So, I want to go something more simple with soaps, find complementary fragrances, scent combinations and blends, something that gives me still a creative outlet, but isn't, like something, if it was like orange and cedar, if orange wears off, cedar's still a pretty good smell. If cedar wears off, orange is a great smell. Citrus always works. So I've just been thinking more openly on those things, just to, diversify. If anything, it's when I'm not studying for a certification, working on projects, if I'm not working on work stuff, software releases and things like that, then at least, you know, outside of work, it doesn't always have to be candles and wax melts. Like it gives me something else that I can do, something that I really enjoy that I can, tell a different story with. So I'll probably put some of those up on the website if I really want to go that route, maybe late January. Quarter one, probably do that. I need to finish wax melts and do those too. That's really just an effort piece where I haven't had the time to do. But I also wanted to be deliberate with the launch, and I didn't want to put too much out there. Variety's great, but you know, the bread and butter is always going to be, candles. That's what I love to make. I love pouring. I love, stirring. I love everything that is involved with candle making. So that's where my basis is, and that's where the focal point's always going to be. But that's I didn't want to I didn't want to dilute that with too many products. So that's where it's nice to have the freedom that I didn't put all my eggs in this basket. A lot of it is I, have a career. I have, projects outside of my career that have no affiliation with any business that are just personal things. And this is the like something that I still, you know, I'm trying to grow and evolve, but at my own pace. Like I'm not in any hurry. So some of the apprehension with launching too much at one time was just because I wanted to focus on what I am proud of the most, and that would be, the candles. So probably next couple months expand a little bit. I have to be done with these labels, and that's that's going to be a lot. I mean, I'm almost there, but something else that I was thinking about is, being active in the like Facebook candle making groups has been cool. I've noticed a lot of the same issues that people run into. So I think this weekend I'm going to work on more of a tutorial instructional video on some of the things that's helped me. It's helped me be more methodical, and being more methodical has helped me be more consistent in my products. So I want to be able to just have something out there. Like I'm not trying to, put this link for a video into all these group chats, but because every product, every problem is somewhat unique, but I at least want to like use opportunities where they're available to share anything I've learned, whether that works for them or it doesn't. Just the ability for me to recognize that I learned something and I'm growing from it gives, me the opportunity to share that. Maybe only one or two people see it, or maybe five, who knows. But I think just being able to share that stuff, just like, these thoughts, is more important to me than it is for, my own ego. So those are just things that I've seen. A lot of that's going to have to do with wicking, just a lot of do's and don'ts with wicking. Some of the most important things that I see people struggle with constantly, which is stirring times, temperatures to add fragrance, pouring too hot, and then not experimenting, like not testing things. Testing isn't just I'm going to test what these fragrances smell like. I'm going to test what this candle looks like after I pour it at 150 versus 155, or even 152 instead of 150. There's just a lot that goes into it, and the behaviors of everything's so specific. But everyone's got a different fragrance percentage. Everyone's got a little bit different things. So hopefully I can encompass a lot of those, and my thoughts and techniques are applicable to all those situations. And maybe one or two or five of those people will see the video. But either way, it's nice to just share that stuff. So, probably do that this weekend, maybe get that uploaded early next week, and appreciate you watching. Have a good one.